Come be like hallelujah song. He don't come again, no. He don't come again, no. I get it supepe, aya, asupepe, aya. No do. Last Tuesday, the one we just passed, so we talk about sports, grassroots sports, and how it take empower youthful people them. It didn't last for 2 hours, but when the 2 hours finish, come be like 2 minutes. Because now when the program can start to the sweet where now we see the bottom plate. They made in China of the matter. We can say make pack our kaya put to zap come out from studio. Today again we don't start. Brother, this program no get phone in segment. You no get when you go calling yet. For now, you go follow us on top Facebook or YouTube. For Facebook, our PO box now Agate Radio TV, that is AGATE. You could give a small space when you both they call space bar. You go type radio RADIO. You go put slash. That is that command way tall where be like a Goliath with a lean forward, or you both call them forward slash TV, just T and V. Agate Radio TV. If you search, now only we get that account on top Facebook, and you go see us there with the stream now live. On top YouTube, now one word, Agate TV. That is AGATE TV. And if you comment on any of this stream, even on Instagram, we're there as Agate TV, one word as well. So if you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you enter any of this platform, follow us talk. We go read your comment later for the program. For now, we get plenty control people inside studio, and more, they even come. The house goes soon full. I go to introduce them, but make I tell you now, waiting carry us come this morning. Mother tongue, now the language way Pikin they learn from your mama directly. The first one way it is speak. For people like me, I get more than one mother tongue. Because why? My mama, na Igbo woman. My father, native. And for my papa family, they get Fulani with some other tribe. For my mama family, they still get people from Akwa Ibom, plus inclusion the Igbo. So my mother tongue can be 2 plus. If you add others. But the main one where I learn from my mama, na TV and the Igbo. Now they make them, they call her mother tongue. You get country people when only one mother tongue them get because both parents are from the same tribe. But by and by, definition of mother tongue, na the lingua franca way you learn from your mama belly. The one where your mama they take gossip when you get your belly. The one when they take share secret when you get your belly. People when they do scientific, they talk say that language when mama they speak, begin they hear them right from inside belly. Now, for this modern world where we dey, you go enter somewhere, see somebody where they answer okay, one Igbo. Typically Igbo name when you start to speak Igbo with them, he go tell you say, I do not hear Igbo. I do not speak Igbo, I only hear it. You go see somebody where they bear name like Osaze Obayabo. You start to speak Esan with them. You go say, I know they hear Esan. Now only English are they speak. You go stand there inside this Makodi. You go hear somebody where you name na Oguche. Make he speak Idoma, Mbano. And this thing they more common among the young people to them. Be good, I be no good. No be only me, they enter start studio to carry your microphone plus inclusion microscope, look all this matter. We get some senior bosses, fat daddies, and even later some mommies go join us. We go help us look this matter. And some even young people, them they here with us. So to continue this conversation, make I introduce all the people where they here. When it be say go check them out for this matter. Number one, now somebody when it be say he even write dictionary for the language will be your mother tongue. Reverend Daniel Tekura Karshima. Rev, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Mm-hmm. So beside the Rev, we get one big oga will be barrister and be even chairperson of Ayatutu Lawyers Forum. They call him Barrister Teheme Oscar Aorabe. In other name, na Gagajav.
Thank you. Now, before I be chairperson of Ayatutu, now another person day.
Okay, another person day. Give microphone to Reverend Daniel. I say if you write your name, you go put HZT. What in that one mean?
Yes, that is in Til language. Who or Uzwati.
Okay, so a title.
Yes,
just like
title.
JP.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's a fellow.
Later
fellow of Tiv language.
Okay, later we'll go ask you how to get that title, yes, because me, I like him.
All right.
So the contributor way they next to you, or before that, make we give Ogadi Mangi microphone. Well, here we get one of our daddies, Elda or Oguche Adimangi. Retired civil servant, somebody we don't work for government for years, can retire, and now somebody we they call advocate of Idoma language. Okwane, Anyasa.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you.
And we get Ushahumba, Felix Ahumba. Where Ushahumba dey?
Yes, sir.
So Ushahumba, which work you they do?
For now, I still dey go school.
Okay, Ushahumba na student. Moses Ashwe Castle, where Moses Ashwe dey?
Yeah, I'm sir.
Okay. Okay.
I'm Moses Ashwe.
Ashwe dey good with Luamnaha. With Che.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashwe, I better give microphone to Igbeshange Paul on the way. Oga, welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you so much, sir.
Igbeshange, which work you dey? I hear say you be person where they carry Bible, they write for book, where they call journalists.
Yes, I'm a journalist.
Okay.
I be a researcher too.
Okay.
And at the same time, a student.
Okay. And you be student, researcher, journalist. You get plenty hard to. And they get one contributor we just enter now. One of the people when they do Igede program for Agate Radio. Ogiri.
Sir.
But no be Ajenokpabi, abi? Yeah, greet country people for your language, make we hear.
He
don't do. You go know say you like a language. One of our country sister dey here. Country sister, waiting be your name, I beg. Give them the microphone.
Thank you. My name is Kasari Joyce.
This one a problem. This one are Igbo people. Kasari waiting.
Kasa Rejoice.
Okay, Kasa Rejoice.
Yes, sir.
That one a thief name now.
Yes, sir.
Even the way I be like say I could change the way I dey pronounce my own name.
Abi.
You know, go be Tiavia again. Go be Tiavia. Okay, and no be only me dey here. I dey with my contributor where they help me. They do the program well in the person of Ngiegba. Say Ngiegba, just raise hand, may they see you. Other people they enter now, but make we continue. Later we'll go into. Don't come all of them. Oga Barrister Oscar, I want start this way. Make we look at part one. Make we understand the role of mother tongue. It is important to preserve our mother tongue. And make we just throw it, make we know the speaker again. Where your microphone, they may we give them. It is important to preserve abegi English. Don't solve every problem. After all, make we just.
Mother tongue is very important.
Okay.
Because Naim they carry culture. If you know your mother tongue, you go know your culture. Naim the differentiate one tribe from another, one culture from another, one race from another, and then all the things where the people of that culture they do, they follow their language.
Okay.
So if you know your language and you know the culture of your language, if you come here now and you see you hear something like you mention Ayatutu. If you mention Ayatutu, not everybody go know the meaning of that word.
They no go know say it get meaning.
It get meaning.
It get how they supposed to respond to that.
But the person way know, he no go respond. So if you just enter Market Square, call that name, you will know the people way understand. They go respond. So it brings about identity, cohesion, and how people understand themselves.
Okay.
It gets something where you fit say for your language, everybody go to understand. But if you want to translate them to English, it no go work. So
it go turn to long walk.
Long walk. So
for instance, if you in TV want describe say to you in time Borum, how you want to translate them to English? Carry stone Borum, it no go make meaning.
Because it get one man way understand Tiv language very well. One Jukun person way understand Tiv. You say anything where they say for Tiv language, you can go understand. Now they can't give them a bow and arrow. Say go and time Borum. You understand that to shoot to be shoot. But this one had to sit. So he go look. He say, "Walai, nengin borunga." I no go sing borung. So the person that understands the language knows the variation,
meaning,
the
yeah.
variation, the nuances, the
The direct translation will say stone something or throw something.
or shoot something. Go and shoot Mbolon, but it means go and squat. So if you understand the language, you go understand the small differences where another person who doesn't understand the language you don't understand, and you can communicate. Exclude other people from your communication if you want, if it is very private.
Eda Ademanye Okwanisa, language itself, waiting be some of the things we like. You know, say barrister just explained something now. Say language they carry coded messages. Waiting be the other things where language they carry, where they important make we still maintain our local languages.
Thank you very much. Language is a very important tool that God has given to human beings. And like he said, it carries your identity. It makes you who you are. And it gives you the pride in life. If you know who you are and where you come from, you feel happy and feel satisfied in life. So if you have a language, if you speak English from A to Z, as we use the ABCD, it doesn't make you, and you are a black man like us here, doesn't make you a white man, doesn't make you an English person.
Okay.
What if I
You
speak,
just sabi their language.
you just sabi their language, and you will not understand their culture. You won't understand the details, even when you read their books, the background to the novel, the book they have written, you will not understand. But here, like he has just given an expression in tip for somebody who learned it, but didn't get the details of it. If two of you are walking on the way or are in the room like this, and I will just whisper to an Idoma man, Nyoga Chikboba, I'm going to bend my legs. He understands. Means I'm going to squat somewhere to do something.
Okay.
You know that I'm going to bend my legs. You understand what I
The
mean?
direct translation, I want to bend my leg.
Yeah, that is
but the meaning is
it's different. It's different. So you do to have the deep meaning of the language, a child has to grow with the mother or in the culture, in an environment that where this language is spoken fully and in detail before you go to learn another language. This is the thing. It's very, very important. It's like that's what I can say for now. Thank you very much.
okay. The next question I want to ask, Ogiri, it concern you and it even concern many other people. What will be some of the problems with minority tribes they get when it comes to promoting their language? Because you discover that sometimes if you meet maybe thief person for Lagos, him go to speak thief, you come visit him, you go to speak thief, or maybe Idoma, or Igede, or Etilo, for Lagos. But in children, no go sabi speak the language. They feel they hear small, but they no go sabi speak. You go discover say these children go sabi Yoruba pass even the Yoruba people wey dey for Lagos, but their own mother tongue. Some even sabi o. You go see somebody wey maybe be thief, you jam am for Abuja, maybe the place where you jam am na only two of na be thief. You say Pandeve go answer you for English. Hello. What thing dey make people dey shame to speak their mother tongue now?
Okay, there are some points that our parents are the cause. Let me be direct to the issue. Our parents are the cause. It depends on how they train their children. Like I have some of our elderly men, I met with them when they were speaking to their children. They were speaking in Proverbs to their children. I said, sir, you are speaking Proverbs to these children. Would they understand? He said, they are my children. They must understand my father language. So I asked this child, did you understand what the father said? He said, yes, he understand. Because the father was always speaking to them their language. So our parents are the cause at times when our children don't understand their language. If they teach them properly, they will understand. And if you are going out, nobody is supposed to be ashamed of speaking his or her language. You are supposed to stand boldly, speak it boldly, so that people will know, so that people will identify you that this is where you come from. This is your language. If you don't speak it, who knows where you come from? So if you go out now, maybe you meet some persons outside, I was on my way. Somebody, I was trying to answer a call, and somebody met me, and he stood there until I finished the call and came back and greeted me in my language. I said, "Are you my language?" He said, "Yes." He's my, because how did you know? He said, "As you were speaking, so I get to know that you are an Igede person. So I have to come close and greet you." And he greeted me in my tongue, and I responded. So it's very, very important that our mothers, our fathers, even our uncles should speak their language to their children always. Then if they go out, they will not be ashamed to speak it, and they will speak boldly, sir.
Reverend, this issue of language now you're in your box, because you self, you don't even do dictionary in Tiv language where they in the cooking kitchen. kitchen. Remain small, you go come out. Before we talk to you, it get some people will enter here, and we're going to introduce them later. But it get proprietor of one private school will enter here, Chief Michael Tom. Good morning, sir. He enter here with some people. We're going to introduce all of them. We invite and come because we want to know within schools too they do to promote our local language. Nobody do they teach people merci beaucoup. Only French or other international language. Even our language, Idoma is an international language. Yes, it's an international language, because if you have two faces in your tribe, you are in an international language. So it's Igede, because you have people that even work with BBC who are Igede. You have Ogenyo Nazi, it's an international footballer. So you can not only be teaching us other international languages, we should also be teaching our own local international language. Abino Biso agree? Reference, sir.
Yeah.
How local language they help in practicing of culture and traditions?
Thank you very much. Just as my colleagues have been saying, language is very important. God is not foolish to have created different languages because he has a purpose for each language. Only those who are, should I say foolish, that throw it away. I remember in the Bible, I think Nehemiah chapter 13, where Nehemiah was very furious with his people when they neglected their language. And the language that they used in that Bible was very harsh. Even now, when you are ready, you do see the harshness of Nehemiah in trying to make sure that people should understand the reason they should hold on to their language. So language is very important to every culture. Formerly, in those years, in the early 60s and 80s, early 70s, we used, like in T, we used to learn these afternoon classes. We communicate totally in T as the main language of teaching the class. Not until 1976, when Universal Primary Education, UPA, came in. And then those who could not afford paying school fees then rushed in because it was free education. So when they rushed in, government could not continue with the languages. So they dropped it, and that was when language started dropping in our country.
Okay, so before then they teach
yes,
children with
like
local
in Tiv language, we used to learn it very well and effectively.
Okay.
That is why if you go to NKST, at least almost every child knows how to speak at least one or two things, because at that time you have to learn it. So you have to go. But when UPA came, the government did not sponsor languages in their curriculum. So it was not featured in the schools. Now, not until just recently when it started. So you see that when they started, the Europeans brainwashed us to the point that when they were teaching in schools, they would write a tag and put on your neck either mumu or stupid child. This will make you feel that you are your language is very inferior, and they will say you are speaking vernacular. So young people, we are shy in embracing their language. We never knew the importance of this language, and even our teachers promoted this. Those who were indigenous to our languages, they helped downgrade the language. So when they did this, all the children could not understand. Just as Ogri is saying, many children are not interested in languages again. When you are speaking, they feel shy, identifying themselves with it.
Okay, so if you speak your mother tongue, you be like, you be local person.
You be local person.
It's okay.
Not just local. You didn't even know Bokuru. You know Bokuru? Language book.
You know Sabia.
You know Sabi Bokuru. So you will see that in schools, in Benue here, very few schools you see them practicing Tiv language. Right now as I'm speaking.
Or any other language at all will be local language.
They are speaking French, which is not even a Nigerian language.
And they do phonetics.
Then they do phonetics.
Hello.
And they do everything.
Good morning.
And when you to the point that some parents, when they know that a proprietor is teaching or has introduced Tiv language in their school, they will come and remove their child from that school and take it to where there is no language teaching. This is just what is going on. So they are kind of taking our children away from us. But let me tell you, those who do this, for instance, if I'm a Tiv man and I say my child should not speak Tiv, if I go and stay and nationalize in America, if you start saying something, you say that Tiv man that became an American. So you must associate me with Tiv language or Tiv as a nation before you identify me as an American. That is why we call black Americans and this and that. So these things came not by mistake. Our parents helped us to wash away the language in schools and even in homes.
And even government policy contribute.
And even government policies cannot support us. Okay, like in homes, those who are Christians, when they are doing devotions, they use English instead of using their mother tongue.
Okay.
They use English. So the children are just used to it. In churches now, if you go to like NKST now, for instance, you see that many children are now going for English service more than the Tiv language because they feel it is not a good communicative.
Okay, the English service is more.
It's booming
it's closer
now.
to God.
So this is what I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
So some of these things are happening in our languages, and if you take statistics of schools in Makurdi, you will see that nothing has been done. In fact, the curriculum not until when the outgone governor, Governor Otom, started about the teaching of Tiv language. Though he did not finish the project before he left, but we know government is continuity. So these things, because we are not promoting, and even government did not even sponsor the curriculum doing until some of us who were so concerned that started it, and then we did it and took it to the government to sponsor it, to distribute to the schools. And that is how you come to see that Tiv language is coming on board. And my father here, Adimanya, was teaching Idoma language at the BSU. And all these programs were elective. So they are not degree awarding. They are not degree awarding. So how will people be enthusiastic in accepting this? So these are the challenges that the local languages are facing.
Well, Chief Mike, Reverend don't touch your 18-year box. He say schools, they contribute to this matter. So waiting on our private schools they do now to help to promote local languages. Because true, if you enter most schools now French, you go to hear. I remember those days when we did small for secondary school for Bristol. I be no like French, man, no lie. So me and my friends, we can't speak. We can't speak French. We be Tiv language. We speak French like le bonjour, le ma publicité que c'est boire. If you ask me, if I slow them down, native language that they speak. So waiting that they do now, apart from these phonetics, will be good thing or no talk lie. Apart from the French, not good thing. But the local language, are we left out?
Okay, thank you for having me. I want to first and foremost say using a local language to teach in schools provide a very big transition program from home to school.
Okay.
And it's also very important because we are losing our children to westernization totally. This is the reason why the Ministry of Education say before you become a proprietor, you should go to school and study education. You should have a certificate. If you read political science like I did before, you should go and take a postgraduate diploma in education.
Okay, now government policy now say you must get postgraduate.
Yes. That is the requirement. You must have a program. I'm doing masters in educational management now. I'm starting exams on the 12th to round up the program.
God will see you
too. So if you do that, you are embraced. You become you know what is the requirement. And I want to say a very big thank you to this radio station, because every school, according to the educational policy in this country, is supposed to teach at least one local language.
Repeat that thing again. Supposed to do it in?
Is supposed to teach at least one local language. Like here in Benue State.
Wait. Now yesterday they bring this policy.
No, it has been there. Nigeria, we have the best educational policy in Africa. If I say not in the world. If you sit and analyze it, when I was doing my postgraduate diploma, I came across it. I demanded for the soft copy. I went through it, and I discovered education policy is not being followed to the latter. If we do that, if somebody finished JS3, you are not supposed to be lacking at all. The policy, the way it's planned, you will become useful to yourself first, then you'll be useful to the society. If you finish basic 9, that is JS3. But it's unfortunate that education policies are not followed to the latter in this country, and we have the kind of education we have now. So, proprietors are supposed to know this. If they know it, they will make sure these languages are being taught, because these children are coming from home. There's supposed to be a transition. So if there's no transition, you will lose the child, and the child will not be able to comprehend very well what is being taught in the class. Just for instance, just imagine that mathematics is being taught in Tiv language. The child will understand it better, because you will even use language to promote the culture of the people. Because if you are being taught in your language, you will understand what happened in the time past, the history. You know where you are coming from, and you will know where you are going. But here in our schools, I remember one time I tried introducing it. Parents stood up in the PTA and say they are removing their children to the other schools.
So what Reverend was saying is true?
It's true. They ended up removing. So I had to slow down. But we have already employed people. By September next year, we are going to put it in our program. This year. We are going to put it in our program so that our children will learn these languages, TV, Doma, Igede, and at least one national language. As we employ, we get the teachers, we are going to make sure we have it in our program so that we will not lose these children. You see a child, we say Luam Naha, you say Luamba Naha. It baffles me.
How many?
And I remember when we were growing up, the Catholic Church was trying. The NKST are still doing that. I remember we used to go to St. Teresa's Church, and they used to teach us one small book, Boye Toho, and all that. That is not happening in our schools now. And if the government will listen to some of us, let's execute the policy on education in this country to the latter, and it will go a long way in helping our educational system. That's the reason why today we have the menace we are having in the society today is because these children don't really know where they are coming from, and they are not preserving our culture. Because Tiv language, Idoma, Igede is not being taught. The policy say at least, but you are supposed to teach the three major languages, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. Then you also teach, at least in Benue, we have 3 major local languages.
Yes.
You're supposed to teach 3 of them. Where you cannot teach that 3, the policy says at least 1 of each, so that Rome was not built in a day. From there you can gather momentum and execute what is happening there. So I want to say here categorically that we are not getting it right. If we get it right, it will help us, and we will preserve the younger generation.
Thank you so much, Chief. And you come with some people for here. One, Ainhyungwa Philip. I hope I get Ainhyungwa.
Ainhyungwa
Philip.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what thing you they do, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm a teacher.
Okay. The way they talk, be like saying phonetics. You dey teach.
Yes. Well, yes, part of it. I'm an English language teacher.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Philip. May we no follow and talk too much before you go begin teach us English. Because here, now mother tongue we won't speak. But
Yes.
Your name look like a thief man name.
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right, that's good. We get Anchave Dowesi Precious because students they here with us. Where Anchave they?
Thank you. I am Precious Dowesi Anchabi.
Okay.
I'm a student in Wajina.
Okay, you be student for Wajina.
Yes, sir.
Today you fit speak PG. This one, and now what you they talk? All these they are string. Remove the tweeters. Speak to us. Talk to us directly. Okay, Anchave,
Yes,
can you
sir.
greet us in Tiv?
Yes. Like if it's morning, you greet Undeve. Then if it's afternoon, you greet Upanwe. The same thing with evening.
Okay, Ungunena.
Kwaiga.
Okay, let's give the microphone over to another student, James Mary Ochanya. Anya.
Good morning, sir.
Anya.
Ayeko.
That's the only Idoma I know. Maybe Oga Adimayi will follow you to communicate. That's the only, and then the other Idoma I know is from our Oga Olohi Flu. So Ochanya, what class? Which class you did?
I'm in SS2, sir.
You see, these children now don't they make me speak Oyibo grammatical because of the way they sound. SS2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the next person will be here with us now. Iwa Emmanuel Kumato. Iwa, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Kwaiga.
So, Onye Kobo Jennifer Adobe. Adobe.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, keki me.
Aduma.
Daddy kwan.
Aduma.
Hancha no okuya.
Hanoma.
Thank you very much, Adobe. Ke class ino?
Ano SS2A.
SS2A. Ina agbali kwa?
Yes, sir.
Ke position inwe? Or first or second or again?
Say we're in first position.
Okay, first position.
Yes, sir.
So on when her daddy is sirigi or mom is sirigi?
Yes, sir.
You see, I don't catch them. I don't they had them to to follow the conversation. You now see the importance of local language. We also have here Nseva, good morning. Joshua Nseva, good morning.
Now country people, now good morning.
How you dey?
I dey fine.
Victor Koye dey here too. Koye, where Victor Koye dey?
Here am I, sir.
Okay, morning, Oga.
Good morning. How are you?
We dey fine, sir.
Thank you.
Shedrack on the far. Sayo, where Sayo dey? Okay, he don't come out. Okay, where Sayo dey? He don't come out. Okay, when he come back, we'll go follow and talk. But anyway, now just to recognize everybody where they inside the studio today, because everybody they high table. Now, make we continue the conversation. Or before, if you just join us, this now People's Parliament. My name is Emmanuel Chavia, and you day on to Agate Radio and Television. If not Facebook, you dey watch us. YouTube, you dey watch us. You fit comment there, ask question, or throw your own contributor. Enter the basket of this program. We will read them later at around 10:15. Now it remains about 80 minutes before 10. We will knock, and we don't talk plenty things and plenty other things today to talk. Maybe we talk about storytelling. Barrister, you know, see one of the first things will make me sabi you well. Now how you they talk about stories like Toipu Keshi, all those proverbs and things. We use Steve language they talk. Which role storytelling they play in promoting local language?
You see,
you know, I asked you this question. Again, one of my uncle those days, if he come visit us, we they miss that man in the late 80s. We they wait for him.
To come and tell stories.
We go tell him Kika, Kire, Kwahimwan, Nahango. We they wait for him in the night. If he just come, once it's 7 like this, we go gather around them. We no get fireplace because we did town, but we just gather around them. Children will go off TV. Oh, yes, story.
Storytelling enhances the language more, because when somebody tells a story, new words that the person who is listening may not know are built into the story. And then, let me just say it before, when some of us were growing up, the Bible was not so common. By the time some of us were born, the Bible was not yet fully translated into Tiv language, just part of it. And I have come to learn, or have come to agree, or say that when you hear Bible stories, which are to model or shape somebody's life, moral life, that was what stories were told. The stories, these animal stories, they will depict human character in animals, and then they will say, somebody will know, the children, when an animal does a bad thing, children will say, you understand. So storytelling is important in language development because, one, it is part of communication. You want to communicate. Now, there are proverbs, bywords, and all that come with stories. In fact, when a Tiv man says something, he may not fully explain what he's saying. But then a Tiv man will know that there's a story behind that byword, or there's a story behind that proverb.
As
you
we say,
understand?
Bankanga.
Bankanga. Then another listener will not know the meaning of that, but when you tell a story, you make somebody try to imbibe that more than just casual speaking, because a story is also like a song. When somebody learns a song, it assimilates much more than casual talking. So a story also does that. Now, nowadays, people hardly tell stories because we have cartoons, we have comics and all that, and children rush to do these things. But when we're children, in fact, there are so many things now that I have learned that the Bible is just replacing what storytelling was, all this folklore, because they will tell you a story, and at the end of the day, they will say that is why it is not good to do this. That is why it is good to do. That is why it is you should not do this. So the children were learning from these stories, not just the language, but moral lessons. So it is good when you are telling a story, somebody's attention is drawn to the story, the way you present the words, you present the character, you present the facts, make somebody more interesting. And he also want to know that story so that he can tell another person. So storytelling is very, very crucial, very, very important in language development, because when characters are mentioned, when you say Anjeke, when a Tima says Anjeke, you know that Anjeke is the Alon's wife. And then you know the character behind Anjeke. You say Atondakan, you know Atondakan is Alon's son. And you know all these things, they are the ones that distinguish one language or one culture from another, because when you are just speaking plain language, nobody distinguishes you from the other person. The Igbo man that speaks Tiv language will not know some of these things because he's not used to sitting down and hearing stories. But somebody who comes from that background has a deeper understanding of the language. And I want to say something. I think the Igede man said something here which I want to agree with. Ogiri. We parents are responsible more than any other thing for the failure of children to understand our language. I remember when I took my daughter she was a pioneering student of one of the private schools.
Okay.
In our house, we don't speak English. My wife has a PhD in English, but we don't speak English. We don't speak English language to anybody in the house. It's Tiv language. So when I took my daughter to school at the age of about 4, the head teacher was an English, a white woman, wanted to communicate with the child. The child could not respond. I said, and why are you not teaching? Why didn't you teach her English language? I said, that is your role. I brought her here so I can teach her that one.
Oh, okay.
Now, I think she's more fluent in English than I am, but she understands Tiv perfectly well. She speaks a deeper or more, what do you call it, classic Tiv, much more than other adults who are in Makurdi here.
Yes.
So it is good to ensure that they will learn, they will make mistakes. Like my son will come and say, Daddy, Mommy says Uncle is in the house, in the kitchen. The uncle is outside. When he cannot fix outside quickly, he goes back to Tiv language.
Okay.
Mommy say uncle is in the kitchen. So, but otherwise, but he's just about 3.
Okay.
But by the time he gets to 4, 5, he will perfect English language because of what they're teaching him in school.
So his foundation is Tiv.
Foundation is Tiv. And whenever they go to the village, they are not isolated.
So instead of speaking Tiv and substituting with English words, he speaks English
yes.
and substitutes any English word he cannot understand
with Tiv. And when they go to the village, they blend perfectly with the village people.
Okay.
And that is why we should encourage the speaking. It is just, if it is you and your wife in the house with the children alone, you can teach them that language. Like you said, we have learned that scientifically, when the mother is carrying a baby, you speak the language to her, him. He understands. There's a particular time the fetus will now start understanding, communicating with the mother. So if you communicate, they will imbibe that language right from the womb. Before they come out, nothing is strange to them. Thank you.
All right.
To add to that point.
Okay, right.
When you asked him, you see, storytelling can link history from the past to the present, and it is a transfer of oral communication. So when you give children the story, they will link the past to the present, and then they will transfer it to their siblings, and that is how history continues. So that is just what is there. And another point I wanted to add was that, you see, when you ask about somebody in Lagos not knowing this, you see the influence of the environment can affect you in that. Because all those who are here are Tiv, and you are you are only the Hausa man here. So the only thing that you can do is try to communicate with them. You use their language. And that is why sometimes this affects them. Thank you.
All right. We'll hand over microphone to the young people where they had. They never talked since. Rejoice, you were shaking your head, especially when they talk about that Lagos episode. Rejoice, you don't ever listen to stories in Tiv, and if you share any stories with us in Tiv, or problem with it?
Okay. I have listened to stories in Tiv language. I actually tried to read that Igyo Yam Apuso. I tried to read it then. I don't know.
See the way the elders are looking at you.
I can't remember the story very. I can't remember the story very much. But I saw the booklet.
If you had observed the bombastic side eye, they gave you like, you don't mean it. What are you trying to pronounce?
Very much. But that story. We had the booklets in the house.
Okay.
But as he said about the environment, where I grew up, I didn't grow up in Benue State. I grew up in the north. So the environment, the school, so we were mostly exposed.
And at home, you didn't speak Tiv much.
We didn't speak much. So we had this upbringing where we spoke English. My parents speak Tiv with us, but it was okay for us to respond in Tiv language. They have no issues with that.
In English language?
Yeah, but they will continue speaking Tiv language. They will continue speaking Tiv language. If you want to respond in Tiv, respond in English. It's your business. But we understand Tiv, but we are not very fluent.
But you wished that you speak Tiv very well.
Yes, I do. Because
it's not too late. Rev has a lot of materials that he can share with you. We have a lot of resource persons here that can give you a lot. The likes of Igbe Shangev and co. They have a lot of resources. You can still learn your mother tongue even in old age. Am I correct?
Yes, that's possible.
You can.
Yes.
It's easier when you are young, but it doesn't mean that when you are old, you can't learn it. And thank God for proprietors like Chief Mike, who are, vehement about restoring local dialects in the curriculum as per the educational policy. I learned something here new. I didn't know that it is a law that we must teach our local languages. So rejoice. Good luck on your journey to mastering Tiv language.
Thank you very much.
Now hand over the microphone to one of the students. Adobe, we are back to you. So Adobe,
Yes, sir.
Do you listen to any stories in Igbo at home? Do you have any uncle or auntie that tells you Igbo stories?
Yes, sir. My mom sometimes tell us stories in Igbo.
Okay.
That's when she's free because she's a type of
very busy.
She's too busy.
Okay, okay. But if they start teaching Igbo in school, I think you are students of Wajina, right?
Yes, sir.
High school.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if they start teaching Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, which language would you want to learn?
Sir, yes, I would like to learn Igbo.
Okay. Why would you like to learn Igbo?
Because yes, it will expose me more
Okay.
to my culture. Even the ones my mother taught me, at least I'll learn more
Okay.
if they teach it in school. And
Okay.
it would help me understand more in, like, if they're teaching many subjects in Igbo, I'll understand it more.
Okay.
And
Like if
it'll
they
be
do multiplication in Igbo now, it will be easier for you.
Yes, sir. It will be easy to understand.
Okay. Anchawe, good morning. Give her the microphone. Want to speak to the young ones. Let's know what. Do you consider yourself a good speaker of Tiv language?
Yeah, I'm not really that. We call these people that speak real Tiv, these conk Tiv people.
So your own is not real Tiv?
It's not really conk Tiv. You know, the problem started because we stayed in Kano.
Okay.
I stayed in Kano, so it's when I came back to Benue State. My mom was like, you have to learn Tiv, you have to learn Tiv and all of that.
Okay, so in Kano you spoke Hausa?
That's the problem. Oh. I didn't learn it. I
Okay,
didn't
it was
even
just
speak.
English?
Yes, English.
Okay, so you people were Englishans.
Yes.
Now only English you learn.
Yes.
It's okay. Give Elder Adimayi the microphone. It's in front of you. Yes. Elder, you know, say music, they help us transfer culture and language. Like for me, we be Tiv young man, we grew for certain areas where Tiv music, they very dominant. You get one particular song where I've been learning when I did small. That song did the back of my head. Anytime where I mingle with people, that song they give me like warning. I don't know whether any other Tiv person know this song. Dunia kako wandolo miga dunia. You see them laughing. Those of you watching can see them laughing. That is not laughter of the thing is funny. As in, this song get meaning, get lesson where it is. Kunada ka bagwe sezatoho sezakendi yotoho umachetsia. The song is loaded with meaning. What in music and other cultural arts they do to sink culture inside people?
So thank you very much. It's a very interesting program this morning. The teaching of a language begins right from the family, and where the family members, the mother and the father, are not speaking the language, it is difficult for the child to learn it from anywhere. But some of us who were born in the 40s and grew up in the 50s can tell you the experiences we had. Making a book on the Idoma traditional education. And like Babs Fafon once said, if you take a child from the village who doesn't speak English.
That's former Minister of Education.
Former Minister of Education.
Days.
She was my dean and head of department when I was in Ife.
Oh, great Ife.
Yes. So he said, if you take a child from a village and take him to a school in Kano, in Kaduna, in Abuja or Lagos, a new class, doesn't speak English, it's like taking that child there to kill him or put him in a prison. That is exactly what happens to a good number of our children today. I'm sure if you go to Shangavia, I think I pronounce it well.
Shangavia, yeah.
Yes, the villagers in that place carry a child from there and bring him to Makurdi town. Introduce him to one of the schools around here. everything will be strange to him or her. God will not be used to it. But let me leave that alone and go back to the traditional way that our people used to teach us how to speak the language and to concretize it. First of all, they give you songs, like you have said. There are some common songs in the language that they sing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Then there are stories. Every evening, after everybody had finished eating in the evening, you gather around in a compound and invite everybody, and the storyteller comes to sit down and tells you stories. And each story has the moral teaching in it, the structure. It will end and say, at the end, what happened? Everybody will echo what happened. You know, when Jesus Christ was on earth here in the physical body, with the disciples, he was always teaching them parables. Anything he wanted to explain to them about heaven, he will use a parable.
Exactly.
We have the parable of the prodigal son. So you can go and see many times and come back, your father will still accept you. That kind of, but you have to come to a kind of realization. Like somebody said, he came from Kano, he wants to learn a language, the native language now. There's a point of realization, and the mother is supporting her. Go and learn the language. So it can now have a change. Now, if you give a child a story from the village, and when the child goes to school, the institution, should give that child, try to embellish that story by writing it. Teach the child the symbols that represent the sounds. You're talking about phonology just now. It will now represent the sounds. The A, the B, the B, and the D's represent some sounds. And when you bring these words together, now they form words. And when you put the words together, you will now get the sentences or get the phrases. And this is the way it works in the language. You have to learn the pattern, the structure of the language. The English person will say a tall man. The Idoma man will say a man tall. I mean, that is the structure, the nature of our language. When the child goes to school, he had not been taught properly. He will just literally translate this, and people will laugh at him or her.
And not that the child is wrong.
No, that the child is wrong, but that is the structure of the language. And we say, you know, when we were younger, our teachers were mostly Igbo people. They will give us exams, and we say, Oku Geku, and they will mark it, they mark it wrong. They say you have not said the correct thing. But we said the dead has died. That is the Idoma language. Oku Geku. Oku is death. Died. That is the Idoma language. But if you translate it,
just like the Buddha used to say, dead die.
I say, how can the dead person die? And language is not logical.
Yes.
It's no logic. It's not a logic. This is what you tell. So, first of all, the children learn the greeting. The Idoma man values appellation. Every girl child in the Idoma land has an appellation. The family he comes from.
Okay.
He has appellation. And here the children, today we say daughter of Zion. If he's a Christian, we just call it daughter of Zion. Nobody cares about the appellations for the girl's child. And for the man, a boy, if you are the firstborn, the first son in the family, your title is there, Odaudu.
Okay.
Odaudu. If you hear any Odaudu, that is the first child. Then the second one is a Degbanya. You give them that honor. It's natural. So these are things they learn. And by the time they are growing up now. Now they learn that of the clan and the community. So we say, like, if you are from Mutukpo, you say Odu. When you say Odu, everybody knows he's the son of Mutukpo or is the chief. But that is the title of the chief of the place. Then you have Ochidoma, which is a new introduction that the Igbo people, the colonial people brought to us. just like the thief, the thought thief. So these are new ones that have come, but are now accepted in the society. So the children have to learn, first of all, the structure of the community and follow it with the stories. And then we have legends, story of the ancestors. They come and they tell them. By the time you are telling them, you know this, your father, you know the grandfather, you know the great-grandfather, but the other ones are just stories. People are no more interested. They think they didn't like it's fiction, you know. So these are part of the thing. But let me go back to the government policies. In 1960, some of us were in senior primary, and there came the policy from the Northern Regional Government, straight for English. Yes, that was the time they stopped teaching Idoma. Straight for English. And nobody was teaching Idoma again in the school. And like we said, if you spoke vernacular, you pay 3 kobo or 3 pence.
That time.
It was then 3 pence, the tolo.
Class
I don't know whether you had tolo.
Class will be quiet. Very, very quiet.
You know, these are part of experiences we have had. But in the recent time, the federal government have seen the necessity for our children to start learning their mother tongue, studying their mother tongue, and they are encouraging. They have passed that bill at the national, I think, National Assembly, and in the state here also. I think it had been, but now the political will to impose, to force, or to make the schools teach it is what some of us are fighting for. That is why I have been there. Nobody is paying me for the job I'm doing. I worked with him. We taught together in BSU, and we still have Idoma Language Development Council now. Okay. I'm the national chairman, but nobody is paying me for it. Nobody gives me kobo.
It's the passion.
But the passion. But I'm just excited doing it. So this is the situation. It is now for the government to impose the teaching of these things in our local schools. In 1931, the UNESCO passed this policy, policy too, and said the child has to be taught the first 6 years in his own language before they progress to any other class. With that one, they will learn more. Like the other child who was translating what he couldn't say in Tiv, but he said it in English. Yeah, the child will learn because there is a technological development. There is a technological development right now. A lot of things we are not getting. We do not create. We borrowed from outside. And a language that does not borrow cannot grow.
Yeah.
A language that does not borrow dies, you know. Okay. So since we have this technological development, we should learn to borrow. And like we're in the program here, in Agate Radio sometimes, somebody was asking, what do you call Kasua in Tiv? I think they argued and argued here.
Yes.
I don't know you were aware of that story.
Yes. Now me still anchor.
Okay, you were the one who anchored it.
Yes.
So they argued and argued. There was might be original. Somebody said there was original, but nobody remembers that. What is Kasua? They remember now. So this is the kind of thing. Story writing should encourage as many as possible.
Some people were saying
to write
Tembe,
stories.
some were saying no, Tembe is just a place where a
Okay.
Oh, so market is what? Isho. I better give them mic. Let the whole world hear that. It's what?
It's called Ishoho. Ishoho is a tree.
Okay.
So wherever they were gathering, they will plant that tree there.
Okay.
So when they plant it, then they say Muzan Ishoho. So, but they, as Western Adimanya has just said, the influence of the external language has taken over that word.
Okay.
So we call it Kaswa, which is Hausa word.
Okay, but the real Tiv word
is Ishoho.
Okay, so Ogri, I'm going to modern Ishoho later. Now, let's speak with Chief Mike, and is that your colleague or your staff? Okay. The phonetics man. Chief Mike, let us know what schools fit do to help the promotion of local languages, using maybe your own school as example, because we want to begin to look at what is the way forward. What is the way forward? We don't describe the importance of mother tongue. Maybe we'll look at the challenges, but maybe we start to look at the solutions now. Which schools fit do?
First and foremost, mother tongue gives the child confidence that, yes, I know this thing. You are talking about this second language I'm learning. The importance of this mother tongue cannot be overemphasized. I want to encourage that schools, or the government rather, just like when you speak, when I was not yet born then, but I heard about it, that when you speak vernacular, you'll be asked to pay a certain amount of money. Development has come now, and the world has gone beyond that. The government should bring other measures that will compare proprietors, will compare public schools to teach this mother tongue, because it will help to boost the confidence and promote teaching and learning of these children.
So I know you say I want to enter your mouth, but just as say we get this Benue Education Quality Assurance Agency.
Good.
Like yesterday we host them here on Top Perspective, and they talk about how they go around schools. If you no get lab, you no get this, they no go give you certificate. So now the campaign say make this kind of agency make sure say if they teach local language, no certification.
No certification.
Now from horse's mouth with the hear am.
Yes.
Now me talk am. Me talk am.
Actually, they gave me approval.
Okay.
For TIV language.
Oh, okay.
Not too long ago, just this year.
Okay.
They gave me, because the ministry is supposed to give you approval for the language, for the subjects you will teach, so that you can take exam in them. Okay. So they gave me approval for TIV language. I wanted them to give me Hausa, but they told me they're not writing Hausa also. So, but we started with that. I said, let's start from somewhere. So that is what exactly they're doing. So I'm calling on the agency, the DG Tena Francis. He should take that seriously, and it will go a long way in boosting the teaching and learning of the student. In fact, most people don't know what mother tongue does to a child in teaching and learning. But I've taken time to study and know that's why I've embarked on it. So they should go ahead to promote that, and it will help us. That is the job of the quality assurance. You see. Then the proprietors themselves should look for qualified teachers, not that somebody who can speak TIV, then to come and teach TIV.
Difference there between who fit speak TIV and who fit teach them.
In teaching and learning, there is a process. It's a process. There's a procedure. Who is not a TIV teacher will not be able to transmit or transfer, because a teacher is a transformer. He transfers knowledge to the learner from simple to complex. Some people, when they think, what if I come to teach now, let me blow big grammar. Then if I blow the big one, then the children will not understand. Then they will hear me that this might be. No, it's not done that way. So there is a procedure in education we use in transmitting or transferring this knowledge. I also want to say that if we continue teaching this local language through the vehicles that convert them, storytelling, songs, and all that, it will help in preserving our culture and tradition. Because if we don't tell the stories in local languages, we begin to talk about winter and talk about other things from abroad, and these children have not been there. How will they understand and comprehend? Local language help for comprehension, Because for you to listen to a story in Tiv language and comprehend and know what they're talking about, it helps you in comprehension. So when they bring comprehension in English, it will be easy for you to even know. That's why we are talking about the importance of mother language.
Even comrade, you go agree with me, say those who go school those days, where they learn with vernacular. If you see most of them, their English, they did very simple, very clean, very accurate.
Yes, not bogus English that we have now.
They communicate clearly.
Like my father, he could speak very well, and he told me he stopped education in standard 4. Then it was standard 7. He couldn't further again, and with that standard 4, he went to the Nigerian Army, fought war in Burma. Came back, they went to Sierra Leone. After that, he joined NA, Native Authority. And he did very well, retired as a sergeant in the Nigerian police, and he could speak very well, very fluent in Hausa. I remember very well, he used to listen to BBC. People should allow their children to listen to local programs in local languages. It will also educate them. Education cannot only be in the 4 walls of the class. There is something we call education can be informal and can also be formal. The formal one is the one you write, and you write a summative exam and they give you certificate. And the informal one are the ones we are talking about here on this program. They bring the total experience of a child, and it makes him become more useful to himself and the society at large. Thank you.
Now, People's Parliament, when they listen to on top Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, we day for the Gary of Makuridi. We be the people, them voice. Don't forget, say this program there on top Facebook. There, you could just enter our name, Agate Radio /TV. You could see us. YouTube, now Agate TV, one word, AGATE TV. On top Instagram, now the same name, AGATE TV. My name na Emmanuel Ondugu Chukunonye Take Bitiavia, aka Ojiakara Wuntombo 1. And People's Parliament program when it be say I be the area speaker. On top of this program, we'll tackle some issues as we go along. But today, now mother tongue and how it take affect cultural preservation. You know, so some people feel say to speak their language, they make them be local people. They there. Until one day, Okorogo knows say he must to jump any which way. Now, we did here with many of our country brothers and country sisters. The person who I just hear now, Mike Otom, he be proprietor of one school like that for welfare quarters, Wajina. And we still get a chairman of Idoma Development, Language Development Committee here, Elder Adimanyi Ogucha Adimanyi. We still here with Reverend Karl Shima, where they write dictionary for TV language. We did here with former chairman Ayatutu Lawyers Forum in the person of Barrister Oscar Ahorabe, and plenty people there. But Igba Shangev, I beg, talk to us. You will be journalists. What in media feed do to promote local language? Because you know, say at times this thing, we talk to school people, we talk to other people here, we be teacher, we talk to people when they work in language promotion. What in our media feed do? Because when Oga Mike they talk, he say, "Me would do informal education, join the formal one." You will be journalists, so they carry by the right story. What in media feed do to help promotion of local language?
Okay, thank you so much for that Ogbonge question you will carry put to my chest. Media has a great role to play in making sure that mother tongues languages are preserved. Basically, we have the fundamental functions of the media, which is to entertain, to inform, to educate. And another one is cultural promotion. How can they do this? Like the radio, what we are doing here is promoting preservation of mother tongues. As far as we are educating the public, as far as we are telling the masses the importance of, mother tongues, we are trying to encourage them, that let them know that learning mother tongues is a very vital thing. That is the first one. Another one is the media will package programs in entertaining format, like cartoons. You can package cartoons in Tiv language, in Idoma language, in Igede language, for the children to start learning their mother tongues. Even the Kwahi puppets, sometimes the NTA, they used to broadcast such programs. Even channels, there are some local programs on channels. The basic aim is to let the public, to let the people know that yes, it is very vital for our parents, for our children to learn their mother tongues. Another one is packaging educative programs. Let them know the importance of learning mother tongues. Like myself, my father used to teach me very well how to learn Tiv language, and I'm very creative at that. At times, if I want to, insult person using my Tiv language, I will use it as if I'm speaking English language. Like this akpokitialistic young man. What am I saying? That you have akpokitio, that means you are not intelligent.
So you yab the person, but you make them sound like the English.
Yes, I will coin the word akpokitiolistic young man. Who will even tell you that I'm insulting you?
Yabbing you. Let's just say yabbing you.
Yabbing you. Or I will say that ambimacity. Let us baptize this young man. That is to bully him, to beat him. But I will be yabbing you using my language.
So you are twisting the language around.
Twisting the language.
Just turning it.
I will be even code switching or code mixing so that you'll be confused. You'll not get what I'm trying to communicate. Media is not about radio and television. With the aid of internet, journalists, researchers can write books, journal articles that are basically about the promotion, the preservation of our mother tongues. Like I myself recently, I wrote a book trying to, demystify the allegation or the misconception that Tiv men offer their wives to visitors. In the book, I traced the etymology or the origin of Tiv from Sankalo Hills in Cameroon down to Benue State here. I also talked about the marriages, the yamshe, the elopement, the traditional rights of Tiv people, before hitting the nail on the head that no, Tiv people, they don't play with their wives.
Can you translate?
Yes, that is a Tiv man. For you to go closer to a Tiv man's wife,
you could kill him.
Yes, because a Tiv man, by history, by origin, is a proud person. He cannot share his wife with anybody.
So in essence, the media is okay. I know a lot of people that do some things on social media, especially like in Tiv language. I know the likes of Raphael Chekwas and so many other people where they do things on top social media to preserve Tiv language. I hear say, especially for Tiv, then get Mkoholu Zwativ, something like that. Mzo Zwativ, yes. Mzo Zwativ. And today, the Reverend was introducing himself, and I saw a suffix. I saw something HZ Hazata Hulu Zwativ. That's very, very encouraging. Barrister, let me come back to you before I get to my good young man here. Someone said, I read in a book, as I did research to come for this program, I jam many things. One of the things where I jam, somebody say, it get intersection of human rights and mother tongue. Say, mother tongue and human rights intersect. I don't understand what that thing means. Is he trying to say that mother tongue is part of human right where human being get?
I think the Eda was talking about UNICEF. These United Nations organizations try to make sure that you preserve certain cultures, certain languages. You make sure that you have heritage, United Nations heritage. They will make sure that they identify certain things. One of the rights of an individual is to have his identity, where you come from, your tribe. You must have parentage. You have all the rights. You are, as a child, you should have a language. You should have a place that you call your own, that I'm from this place. They are the right of any human being. I have the right to say I am a Tiv man, I speak Tiv language, I'm from Buruku local government. You have all this embedded in your right as a human being. So they shouldn't be taken away from you. The right of a child is to say, I have this, is my father, this is my mother, this is where I come from, I know this language, I know that. That's your identity. It has to be preserved. They have that right as a child.
The young man beside you, remind me your name again, Oga.
Oshahamba, Felix Ahamba.
Oshahamba, you now student you be. You sabi speak your language well, abi just the manage?
I sabi speak my language because they no born me for Igbo land.
Okay.
Now for Benue and they born me.
Okay.
So I sabi speak my language well.
But some people when they born for Benue no sabi speak their language. So what do make way you sabi speak your own?
I grew up with my mother and my father for the same compound, and then when I enter nursery school, I remember that time they teach us this ABC. You get how they teach us for Tiv language, Abacha.
Da, Efaga.
Yes.
And then,
and like this that they talk, song. In fact, we they sing like saying a song, so that the song will help us mime the thing well. Yeah. So.
And one funny thing, if you learn Abacha in Tiv language, I don't know for other languages, you can find them easier to do. You get one thing where we do for wall here. If camera go fit show, okay, camera no fit show the back of my head. Phonetics for English, na him be the Abacha for Tiv language. Carry on, sir.
Okay. So now it helped me to know my language that fluent. Yeah. And then I think it's okay and it's good for us to preserve our mother tongues.
But why young people will be like you, they like to speak their own mother tongue? Sometimes they even speak pidgin. The pidgin way they speak, no be the one way they come up for here. They go, they speak Edo, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, Igbo pidgin. The Wari pidgin. The one when it be say now for here, we know they want speaker.
Yeah, to me, just like everybody turn and how where they come from. Like some parents now don't even allow their children to speak Tiv. That's just the fact. Because I remember one of my neighbor, he go to teaching children, a Tiv man from Aliede. He go to teaching children English. So when he come, I remember one day they tell in wife say their mate say stop speaking that language with my children. I don't want them to be speaking that language here. So I was like this man no be Tiv man. So you know make your children they speak Tiv. So I don't really understand why they go born person for here, like you be Tiv person. Then sabi speak your language.
Or you be dumb or you be giddy and you know sabi speak.
It's not like if you go ask me of my name now, I would say my name is Oshahamba. I don't really tell you say I be Tiv man. You know say I be Tiv man directly. But if I tell you say I be Felix, you still ask me what's your tribe. So like where I come from, I'm supposed to know where I come from first before I go know where they go. Because if person go ask me say where are you from? I just come and I go, it's okay, this man is from Benue State, a Tiv man. So that alone, it did good for us. Make we.
Say you talk one thing now. Some of your younger people just they hail you say you suppose know where you are coming from before you know where you they go to. I would have been talk say him be Yoruba man before him be Nigerian. That time people they yabam, but today everybody they talk the same thing. Go say I be Tiv man before I be Nigeria, I be Idoma before I be Nigerian. One elder day for back there, I never talk since. Now only to okay, you go give a microphone. Then after you, the elder go talk. Say we they avoid you because now grammar you go speak for us.
Yes.
I
understand. It's like they are discussing a chicken and the chicken is there.
Okay, with the gossip for your 80-yard box.
Yes, you people entered my 80-yard box. But I actually want to link my experience with what we're discussing here. I didn't just go to study. I didn't just go to study English. I studied English because I as a growing up young chief guy, I fell in love with language.
Okay.
And the first language was the Tiv. Now, I want to be very categorical here. One thing we parents are missing. The first gift of a parent to a child is that gift of a comprehensive language. That is the first gift. Now, the language is like a pot. Kai katsuana ha, zwangu katsuana ha. Nashi zigitsuala. You will now have value.
This is the English and now speaking Tivo. Because the thing he wants to say, according to one of my friends, is doing it in the mind. So he has to speak the language that he will express it very well.
Thank you very much. And that is what is even called mother tongue. The language of comparative advantage.
Okay.
That is the language of intuition.
That you can speak without thinking.
The nativized language, where you can speak without thinking anywhere. Any other language you are speaking, you are doing some internal interpretation. You are thinking in a language.
In fact, you are speaking your mother tongue subconsciously through that language.
Subconsciously into another language. And that is why many a times you find mother tongue interference into the second language you are speaking. So it is very, very important for the parents to give their children the first wonderful gift, which is the gift of expression. Now, you were talking about language linked to rights. Yes. If the first article of every constitution is saying freedom of speech, if the child first don't have that power of expression, then how is the freedom of speech going? How do you execute the freedom of speech? The child can't say anything, and as such, he doesn't have any freedom. And that is why these days in our societies, things will be happening, but people don't talk about them. It's because they don't know, they don't have what to say. Their thinking is shallow. A child that has a mother tongue will have a critical thinking. He will think deep. There will be depth in what he's thinking and what he's telling you. But where he doesn't have the mother tongue, there will be no depth in his speech, in his thinking. And you will just see him a kind of massaging a topic, massaging a writing.
Just
without
beating around the bush.
Yes, beating around, wrecking around. Now, like one of my ogas was saying, if you hear someone speak wonderful English, just know that he will speak another wonderful language. That is the mother tongue. Because anybody who has the power of expression in his mother tongue will have the same power of expression in another language. It is so wonderful. And I also wanted to contribute to what my Oga was saying about storytelling.
I don't want to interrupt you, but you get somebody who I want to gossip about here, Oga Barrister Gagajao. Somebody told us the reason why they win cases in it because they master Tiv language. So they use that understanding of Tiv language to argue case for court. The day when the person talk out, we just laugh.
So the mother tongue is very, very important. And the only way, the one of the ways to make the children understand their mother tongues very well is the storytelling. Because in that storytelling, there are values. Stories are didactic. That is, they have meanings. Now, they learn about the value of the culture in the story.
Yes.
They learn about gallantry. I remember one, my teacher told me some years ago about Agaba. And there is a song in Tiv, Agaba, oh, oh, Agaba, oh. The story says he was just a child of the family. But he was so strong that he would defeat a community. Now, where they say Agaba Ndovukbo is to express how he breaks other warriors at war. And if a child learns this, he begins to feel that he too
can represent his community and defeat another community in a war, you don't need to be 20 or 50. So he learns gallantry from these stories. And many of them will be telling the virtues of a good wife. And the young growing, the growing girls
will be promoting patience.
It will be promoting patience, virtues of a good husband, how a husband should defend the wife, how a wife should be loyal to the husband, and all that. These stories will be told at under a tree in the evening in many houses. And the young, the growing people will learn these values naturally. When they grow up, it will not be a difficult thing for them to make good marriages or do some other things.
One of the things you are saying, in essence, is that if parents teach their children mother tongue, it will even be easier for them to learn English.
Very well.
For school.
Very, very well.
Okay.
Very
now
well.
you where they teach English, now you talk more.
Yes.
No be me. I just the amplifier.
Yes.
Oga you
Yes.
day for back there. Give that Baba the microphone. We want to hear from him. Baba, you dey hear us since you just stay quiet. Even sleep don't catch you small.
No, not sleep.
Okay.
The light.
Okay, they enter your eye.
Thank you very much, and thank you all.
I know, see that time when you go school, then teach you na abachada, efagaha.
Sembleje.
So,
and that is what we started learning before other things come in.
Okay.
Even now, as I'm speaking, T people have lived where they miss to teach their children the mother tongue. When you are with your children, when I was my father and my brothers and uncles in the house, by that time they used to make something called mo, kondita. When they sit in the evening like this, they make a firewood and begin to tamola. Then from there they begin to teach us storytelling. From there you can start learning your mother language or your TV language or any language that started with that thing. They will learn the language very clearly, and they will know how to call things clearly. Like my father told me about one thing that happened when the man was about to kill his slave. So when the chief made something called Amma, and he said if he come out and the person who do not honor him as he will come out, he will kill the person. And when the son of that chief come out, then the chief was thinking, if he comes out, what would the slave would say about him? Though, if he come out and the slave could not say something that reaches on his coming out, he will kill him. Then went over doing a Maya, do a young way. Young on the kumepi, young on the kumepi, young on the kumepi, young then to forget of killing his slave, because what he has said now fit on his own coming out.
Okay. Okay, so what he has said is equal to the glory he was looking for.
Yes.
He hailed him enough.
So now that people don't want to teach their children the mother language, they carry different things and begin to tell them, which is killing our language completely. Sometimes when I go to my neighbor place, the children will be speaking wrongly, and the man will not, or the person who is there will never correct them. When I enter on such things, I corrected them. Like say, kanyi kwa, they say kanyi kwala. That is not our pronunciation.
Kanyi kwa, not kanyi kwala.
They say kanyi kwala. Like you have leg, they say nguwa, which is not nguwa, it's nguwa. Other things, it is in the names. Like you call ngohile, instead of ngohide, they call ngohile.
Some will claim that it is dialect.
Yes. But from my own understanding, for where I learn my chief language properly, it is not ngohile, but ngohide, because your mother that has gone, and you can't born a daughter, which you want that to know that your mother has come back.
Well, that depends on the clan, because like where I married from, they will say it's Ngohile. And they will say, instead of saying instead of saying mega or mele, they will say mede, mela.
Yes.
So dialects are also different. But thank you very bring the mic.
There's a relationship about the word.
Wait for the mic so that the people at home they will hear you. And that leads me from there. We go into the era of literature, the value of literary works in developing language.
So
you and Barrister and Adiman, you will speak on that.
Hide is different from hire.
Okay.
And you see the hire, you say mhir, not mhidi.
Okay.
When you say hide, then it be mhidi.
Okay.
And the most fluent one is mhir.
Okay.
Like you have our father mhir ayi yenge, so it's not mhidi. So like he was Barrister was saying, it varies. It depends on the distinct. But I think the most popular one is hire.
Okay.
That is the one that is mostly written. So the hide is more of a modern influence.
Okay.
Yes, hide is more of a modern influence.
So hile is even the more ancient form.
That is why you say mhir.
Okay.
You talk about mhiru yesu, not mhidu yesu.
Okay.
So it's from the word hire.
Okay.
So that is just it. That is just the issue. And when you are talking about literature, you see, it's one of the challenges that we have about mother tongue teaching. Many schools want to teach, but there are no materials. You see, when we talk about Boatoho was just a book that was making...
Proprietor, sir, you will get his contact. He's working on the dictionary of
Proprietor is my neighbor, only that we didn't know each other. He's my neighbor.
Okay, you are meeting here.
Yeah.
Thank God for People's Parliament.
So you see that Boatoho was a good book for learning how to be fluent in reading. But grammatically, it didn't teach us anything.
Okay.
That is just about... so
it was like
more,
a queen primer. Just to help you read.
Help you read, exactly. Okay. So even though you read it, you will not have anything to tell you about time, about present or past or this and that. So we have to develop books that will tell our children, okay, like one of my neighbors who was my church member, his son was in BSU here at the 400 level. He could not know what adjective is in English until I told him, I explained it in TIV, that he came to understand. You just look at what our children are missing. So you will see that when literature is there, it will help them. But the worst thing is that our children are not ready to read, unlike before. When you read novels, you read outside of school, you read them to get stories, and you are proud of reading.
No, they are reading.
How many
it's just that they are reading Facebook.
Many James Hadley Chase, many Shakespearean books.
Yes.
And you talk
Frederick
about Julius Caesar, you talk about Merchant of Venice. So
Charles
you are proud
Dickens.
of how many novels you have read. Now, give a child just 2 pages. We just drop it.
At least
there.
even the ones that were on
I'll
serious
begin
used to read
through
Mills
the
and Boone.
Facebook. So these are the challenges. And maybe going by that, I will also add, we have some problems that the government has to sit up. Government has a lot of problems, issues to settle about this mother tongue language. First of all, like we were saying, when the bill is passed in the assembly, before you open a school, your priority, one of the languages must be as part of your school opening. That is what will help us. So if, as it is now, some private owners don't even want to bring that in, as he has already mentioned that some parents are against that. So if it is a policy, a law that is coming from the assembly, they will know whether they like it or not, they will embrace it. And that is one thing. And then, second thing is, I'm talking this from experience as a writer in TIV language. Another thing is lack of staff. When you were mentioning not everybody can teach TIV language. So in guided language or guided teaching, there must be people who are systematic in teaching. So if the government employs people, he can use, since we don't have many trained teachers, government can use 1 or 2 months or 3 or weeks to train them, give an ad hoc training so that they will go back to the class and then pick up from there. After graduating, so many students will have many language teachers. And schools should also accept all those things. The problem of translating is another problem. You see, writing a book in mathematics. Currently, I'm writing a book for somebody who has written purely in mathematics in TIV.
In TIV?
Yes. I'm writing it already. So even this morning I was on it.
So what is 2 times 2 in TIV?
When you really get the book, you know it.
No, give us now. We would like to hear. We would like to hear. What is 2 divided by 2?
Okay. That is divide by, yes. So that is what I'm trying to say. So when we have areas like literature, we have areas like mathematics, we have geography, we have chemistry. All these areas, we must develop them so that we'll be fully equipped in those areas. I didn't go to abroad, but so those who go to, say, China, when you read there, or Germany, before you start the course you are reading, you must read, study that language before you come back to read what you actually went for. So this is what is going on. So if we have that projection in the next 20 or 30 years, I think this can be possible.
Barrister, sir, literary works, because you are one of the advocates of mother tongue on social media. In fact, for those who don't know, people who don't know, say, this man a barrister, they will just take, say, na TV they teach. Because you always drop either stories about the village, or usually you drop a lot of TV proverbs. Every day when I wake up, I search, make I just give you a secret. I'll go Facebook, make I look whether Toipu Keshi talk another funny thing today. You know, parables and what have you. What will be the role of literature for all these things? And how you learn all these things? Now, from word of mouth, I you read them somewhere from book.
You see, I grew up with my grandmother.
Okay.
And with grandmothers,
no
they don't know, there was no way you learn anything other than the classic TIV language and the stories.
According to somebody, the conch TIV language.
Yes, and then even the insults. She wants to insult you. The insult will be graphic. They will liken this to something so creative, and that when they are telling stories, they have to tell it in such a way that it will ginger your interest. So when you want to write, you just don't launch into telling a story. You have to make what the appetite of the person who is reading, so that he knows that he's on a voyage of discovering something. So literary works, and just like you said, or it's been said here, I went to primary school at the age of about 9. Before I went to school, I knew how to read and write in TIV language. So went to school at the age of 9. In fact, by 1976, I had been demoted to primary 2 again because I had to go to a free school. So I had been demoted from the class I was supposed to go back to primary 2 because of UPE. So I was well grounded in TIV language. So whatever I want to say, the influence of the language comes in. You have to spice something, what you are going to say, with a story here or there, that somebody gets excited about something. Sometimes
the TIV language is very flowery.
Yes.
It has direct approach, but it also has a certain poetic nuance.
You say, when you say, when the eyes are red, the full animal will understand TIV language. There's a story behind that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to go back, let your reader or the person reading know why that thing comes in. You have to go back and give a bit of the history so that he knows that when you mention this, that is where it is coming from. And so literature develops the language because it codifies some out-of-date words, even words that are no longer in contemporary use. The literature can codify them, make them there, put them back in writing so that anybody goes to read it, he will, what is the meaning of this? So if I speak TIV language, I will speak what my mother used to speak. In fact, when I was at the university, I almost got married to a girl because she said I speak TIV language the way her grandmother speaks. Because, you know, when you said something about nuances. They are exact words that you can use in a language that another person may use, not the exact word. Because when you are rubbing Vaseline, you know, they say, another person will say sheer. But sheer is not the word in Tiv language, it's ishi. You understand? So when you sheer, it means you are just dabbing something. But ishi, you are rubbing carefully. So when you know the distinction, then you know the sweetness of the language. And so when you go for the exact word, it is only when you know the language very well that you can go for the exact word that describes the exact situation. You understand? So literature is important in preserving the language, because if you take, for instance, let's go to English language. The English language teacher is there. If you take Shakespeare, you are reading Shakespeare, you know that language is no longer in use, but then you can understand the origin of some of these words. You get the exact origin of those words and how they have developed to a modern use.
Hear sentences like "feed thou tents,"
and you say we used to enjoy it because you have a background to this. So it is good to have, like the Reverend is what they are doing, to get the literary works. You have Adam Wadekohoga. It's a classic in Tiv language.
Yes.
If you read that book, you know the way Senator Somuche has. Incidentally, I grew up in that area near Somuche. In fact, his uncle was somebody that I learned traditional medicine under. When I was a child, Baichia who sent me, go and bring this. I knew how to concoct some herbs for some of those things. So you know the background he's coming from. Even as educated as he is, as enlightened as he is, he has a background that is very rich in the language. So he could now put this thing in a book, so that when you are reading it, most of them will not read. They will understand. In fact, I teach catechism in my church. If you take the book that was used as Akabibilo, these are stories, Bible stories, when the Bible had not yet been translated, and they felt there's a need to teach the Bible stories. They now summarize some of the stories. I have a teacher who is teaching this, but he himself doesn't understand the language. When you see that language, it's classic. You have to know, when they say Shom Noahia, that is a machete has come to the house. You know that is war.
Yes.
But they won't say Tiav. You know the classic expression of a language from literature, from books, from works of those who have know what it takes to have mastered the language, who have know the origin of the language. So it is good to preserve our language, not just by word of mouth, because it varies. We borrow things here and there. Then by the time you go to, let's say, 2030, most of the words we are speaking now will fizzle out. But then when you go back to literary works, they are still there for you to study and understand. So we should encourage writers to write in the original language and preserve it for future use. Archaeologists, or what do they call the people who study the history of certain things? When they go back to those books, they will now know. You will see the English language, the one that was spoken before Victorian age, is different.
Yes.
Some of these words have been phased out, but when you go back, you understand them. You read them, you know that, okay, this used to be this, but now they have changed it to this modern form. So literary works preserve language in its original form. And when you want to study it after a while, you go back to it and you understand it better.
Elder Adimaye, we're drawing close to the end of our time on this program. You are a lecturer of Idoma language, chairman of the Development Council of the language. You are in a very good position to promote the value of book them and other literary works, and how did they help preserve language, using Idoma as a case study.
Thank you very much. The discussion has been a very interesting one. Like you said, when I was employed in BSU 2008 to prepare a kind of curriculum or program for the teaching of the Idoma language. How to put both grammar and literature together. And like we're talking about, you start with language learning. How do you learn the language? You have to listen to the sound. And how do you capture the sound you listen and hear in a physical, in a symbolic way? That is where we come to A, we come to B, come to whatever letter we get. And putting all these letters, we think, these symbols we have used now to capture the necessary sound in a language is called the alphabet. It's out of this alphabet now you use to form the words in the language. And putting the words together now you get a sentence, can express yourself, ideas. And when you learn a language, you be thinking about emotions, your feelings. Think about your feelings, your thoughts. Like somebody said earlier, if you know your language very well, the mother tongue very well, and you are learning a new language, if you don't understand, you have to return again to your mother tongue and try to do literary translation. I think it was the barrister who said that one. If you don't understand exactly what you have to say in the foreign language, you have to learn. You go back to your language to get it. And it is the language, your mother tongue, that helps you to develop the new language. And you can do very well in that one. I know two of my classmates that became professors at that level. They were very good when we were in the post-primary. They were very good in their native language, the mother tongue. And then they became very outstanding in their universities, learning this language. So let us write as many books as possible. Shakespeare and other people who wrote classic novels and books in English studied Latin. Some of them studied Greek. And from there they moved to French. Though we're talking, you have all these things written. When you are reading Shakespeare, you come across some of these things. When his friend was going to stab him, say, "Ete brute,"
which was Latin.
Which was Latin. Even you, Brutus, going to stab me, you know. So they can use it like a proverb. And there are so many of such proverbs you have. So one pastor, and the problem we have is more with our Christian brothers, the churches. The pastor will say, if you want to learn a language very well, go to where they do burial, traditional burial. The language you hear when they are doing burial, traditional burial, you will not hear it at any other time. They won't use it. It's a taboo. You have to learn. It's only when the elders gather together and make use of some of these things, you will hear them using them as proverbs. And if there is any quarrel and the elders are going to settle, go and sit down there, even if you are not invited.
You will hear new proverbs.
You will hear so many things.
They will not speak direct.
No.
Everything is a proverb.
They will not. And they know how to and that, I think that was why the Chinua Achebe book, Things Fall Apart, became one of the classic novels in the whole world, not only in Nigeria. You have to go back again to your culture and learn a lot of things. Ironsmithing, the blacksmith and other things. You have to go and learn them.
Yeah, Elder,
Yes.
our time is already gone. But just before we go, I want to hear from Ochanya. Where is Ochanya? Give her the microphone. In 30 seconds, tell us what you want from adults, from parents, from government to do to help you people in your generation understand your mother tongue well. Because this program is for you people.
Me, I want parents to like teach the children try like their language more, because my mom especially, when we are in public like this, she don't like speaking English for us. Like she like communicating with us in Idoma, because she feel like it's not everything people should hear, so she would like tell us in Idoma, so like that. So I think it's good.
What about your school? What do you want your school to do to help you understand your local language more?
I want them to start teaching it, especially Idoma, because like chemistry, when they are speaking that big language, they used to like understand it fast. But I think if they use Idoma, to be easy.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ochanya. We are waiting for the day that will translate tetroxosulfate 4-acid into Idoma. And we have some materials here. Who will...
We have done some of these for us too.
Okay.
I don't know whether you are aware. We translated some of these things in the sciences.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend. He's giving us some tea materials. Yesu Zativ. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes.
Yesu Zativ. And the TIF calendar. Oh, there's a TIF calendar. Yeah. So the month of March is known as Hyotsa. Wow. And on the TIF program, I think we'll talk more about this next week, Thursday. Am I correct, Ingegwa? Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Chief Michael Tom, not forgetting Barrister Aurabe, Reverend Carl Shima, Daddy Adimangi, and every other person who has been here with us. My name is Emmanuel Tiavia. Now here we go pack Akaya, put inside Potomanto. People's Parliament will come back again next Tuesday. Una, bye-bye.